When you walk past the Palazzo today, it still looks like one of the most beautiful resorts on the Strip. Towering gold glass windows, massive suite layouts, elegant Italian styling, luxury corridors, and one of the largest casinos in Las Vegas. On the outside, nothing seems wrong. In fact, most tourists still assume the Palazzo is one of the healthiest high-end properties in the city. But when you look closer, talk to employees, analyze tourist complaints, follow the financial trail, and understand what's happening behind closed doors, a very different story emerges. The Palazzo is caught in a quiet decline, overshadowed by its own sister property, squeezed by its ownership structure, and stuck in a competitive environment that is changing faster than the resort can adapt. The root of the problem goes back to the ownership shift. In 2022, Las Vegas Sands sold both the Venetian and the Palazzo in a massive multi-billion-dollar deal, and since that sale, Palazzo has had to operate under a real estate lease structure that forces it to pay enormous rent just to use its own buildings. It's the same problem the Venetian now faces. The resort is trapped between Apollo's operational control and VC's landlord demands. That means every decision, every renovation, every upgrade, every staffing change is influenced by the need to hit revenue targets that have very little flexibility. When a property is carrying financial weight before guests even walk through the door, it becomes extremely vulnerable to dips in tourism, soft convention weeks, and rising operating costs. The Palazzo has aged far faster than anyone expected. The suites are still large and elegant, but the infrastructure is past its midlife point. Carpets, lighting systems, elevators, HVAC, and casino technology all need expensive upgrades. The problem is that Palazzo was designed at a time when Vegas believed its mega resorts would never slow down. Everything is built on a massive scale. Huge hallways, massive casino stretches, enormous lobbies. The bigger a building is, the more expensive it becomes to maintain. And right now, Palazzo is at the stage where everything needs renovation at the same time. That creates pressure on casino operators who want to refresh the property but simply do not have the financial room to close floors, shut down restaurants, or reduce capacity for months. The next issue is identity. The Palazzo was launched as a more refined counterpart to the Venetian. Bigger suites, cleaner design, more modern theming, less tourist spectacle, and more quiet luxury. That worked wonderfully in the 2010s, but the Las Vegas visitor has changed dramatically. Younger tourists do not care about understated elegance. They care about nightlife, immersive experiences, digital visuals, influencer-driven attractions, and energetic casino floors. Palazzo, by contrast, feels calm. Too calm. It has luxury, but not personality. It has scale, but not excitement. It has beauty, but not energy. On the Strip today, quiet luxury is no longer a selling point unless it comes with exclusivity, and Palazzo is not exclusive enough to compete with Wynn or the Cosmopolitan, nor is it energetic enough to compete with Resorts World, Mandalay Bay, or even Caesar's Palace. It's stuck between identities. Tourist behavior reflects this. Walk through Palazzo on a weekday afternoon and you can feel the difference compared to a decade ago. Foot traffic is lighter, gaming activity is inconsistent. Certain areas of the casino floor feel like they're waiting for crowds that never arrive. Convention guests still support the property, but not at the levels Venetian once enjoyed, and when convention cycles slow down, Palazzo is hit first, because it has fewer built-in attractions than its sister resort. The lack of any major unique signature, no fountains, no mega club, no immersive spectacle, makes it difficult to pull traffic from younger crowds who have an endless list of alternatives. Employees have been noticing the shifts too. Many longtime staff describe reduced staffing levels, slower maintenance response, and a noticeable tightening of management expectations since the ownership change. Servers talk about being assigned larger sections. Dealers talk about inconsistent table traffic. Maintenance workers say repairs take longer to be approved because cost control has become more strict. None of these problems are catastrophic individually, but together they create a quiet erosion in the guest experience. And the guests notice. Reviews highlight slower service, rooms that feel slightly outdated, and a casino atmosphere that feels too quiet or lacking energy. These are signs of a property losing momentum. Competition makes this decline even more visible. Wynn and Encore still dominate the luxury category with world-class service and consistently updated interiors. The Cosmopolitan continues to define modern nightlife. Resorts World, despite its problems, still draws higher curiosity traffic because it's newer, and the Sphere next door is pulling millions of visitors each year, but most of that attention goes to Venetian restaurants, not Palazzo's casino. The growing divide between the two sister properties is becoming more obvious. Venetian gets the crowds, Palazzo gets whatever is left. That imbalance wasn't nearly as dramatic a decade ago. Another major problem is the scale of renovations required for the Palazzo casino floor. To compete with modern resorts, Palazzo will eventually need a reimagined layout, updated slots, new lighting systems, upgraded ceiling structures, refreshed fixtures, and potentially a complete rebrand of the gaming environment. But those upgrades come with enormous costs, and with a landlord collecting rent, the resort cannot afford long shutdown periods or revenue interruptions. In other words, the Palazzo is entering the phase where it must evolve, but can't evolve quickly. Tourism trends amplify these internal issues. Domestic visitors are spending less. Younger tourists have lower gambling appetite. International visitors help, but they prioritize Venetian's iconic features first. Rising prices across Vegas, food, drinks, parking, resort fees also make mid-tier luxury resorts vulnerable. When a guest feels nickel and dimed, they choose properties with stronger emotional appeal or stronger value propositions. Palazzo currently offers neither. It offers excellence, but quiet excellence. And that is no longer enough to win the modern Las Vegas battle for attention. Despite all of this, the Palazzo is not failing. It's still profitable. It's still beautiful. It's still one of the best places to stay if you value large suites and a calm atmosphere. The danger is not collapse. The danger is stagnation, a quiet decline, a loss of cultural relevance, a property that becomes overshadowed by its neighbors, not because it is bad, but because the rest of the strip has evolved while Palazzo stayed still. And in Las Vegas, staying still is the first step toward being forgotten. The Palazzo does not need a miracle. It needs identity. It needs investment. It needs a signature experience that makes people say, we need to go there. Right now, it's a resort with incredible potential and no clear vision guiding its future. And in a city where reinvention is everything, that lack of direction could become its biggest liability in the decade ahead.